Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Blu Ray Hunter. I'm the Blu Ray Hunter, Jonathan Moody, and I've got a great show for you guys. These are my top 10 Blu-rays in horror, the horror genre that I recommend to people who are trying to think what should I watch? What should I buy from, whatever company and whatever stuff that's going on. Here we go. So I'm gonna kick it off with a movie that I discovered I don't know, a few years ago, something like that. Okay, so I saw it in the video store, never bought it, didn't know anything about it. And that is the 1980, was it 80s, not 80s, 84 film, The Mutilator. The Mutilator, also known as, I'll show it to you in a second, also known as Fall Break. So, I absolutely love The Mutilator. It is a great slasher. One of my favorite slasher films of all time. Uh, a lot of fun. It reminds me of all the slasher films of the 80s, pretty much all rolled into one. Such a great film. If you haven't seen The Mutilator, please go check it out. Another 80s film, this time directed by Tobe Hooper. I absolutely love Tobe Hooper, and this is one of my favorite films by him, which is Funhouse. Now I'm gonna buy the what is it? Uh the 4K of this eventually, just like I will with other ones I've got here, which I may mention as well. But I don't have the 4K of it yet, and so I only have it on Blu-ray. So here you go. On Blu-ray Funhouse, if you haven't seen it, it's really good and creepy. Gives a lot of that great 80s vibe to it. Next is Misery. Another movie that I think is on 4K from Scream Factory. I know this is on Blu-ray on there, but I eventually want to do this. This is such a great movie because it's a scary film done by the guy who made Stand By Me and Princess Bride. Stand By Me was also Stephen King, by the way. If you did not know that, he wrote the short story that it is. But yes, this is such a great film. Rob Reiner does a great job. Kathy Bates, I think, won an Oscar for this role. Um, let's see. Yeah, she was 1990 actress in a leading role in Misery, and it won a two-time Oscar-winning writer, William Goldman, and directed by Rob Reiner. So, yeah, apparently, um, he had won it for this and for Butch Cassidy and the Sundance. No, wait, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Okay, so those two movies. Maybe he didn't win it for this, but he should have, because this is really good. The the thing is, I'm surprised because the Oscars don't generally look at horror films. They probably consider this a thriller. This is a horror film. I'm sorry. Call it what you will, but it's a freaking horror film. Next movie, oh my goodness. If you have not seen this flick, I don't just go watch it. Go watch it. Figure out a way to go see it. Go watch it right now. Think it might even be on Tubi. Who knows? Watch Sleepaway Camp, also by Scream Factory. You're gonna see a lot of Scream Factories. Just the last three were Scream Factory. And the next couple are too. Scream Factory tends to get out some of my favorite films. So I really like it. Like when they announce new titles, I go crazy. So I'm like, it's gonna be something popular or something that I enjoy. So Sleepaway Camp. That ending. Problem is I watched it way too late, and so people had already kind of ruined the ending for me. So when I watched it, it was just to see it. Um, but I wasn't there watching it when it first came out because it first came out in 1983. I was 1 years old then, and so. But Felissa Rose, who played Angela in this, she is such a sweetie. I absolutely adore her. She's always nice at all the conventions. She will stop signing autographs or something, and when she sees me, and just say hello or give me a hug or whatever. She's so sweet. I absolutely adore her and can't wait to see her again at another convention or maybe even work with her. That would be awesome. We talked about working together. We just never been able to do it. Jonathan Tiersten is also in it, and a bunch of other people. It is such a fantastic film. If you haven't seen it, it's just great. Next is Idle Hands, a movie I just bought recently and just rewatched. I hadn't seen it in forever and laughed my freaking ass off. Devon Sawa and why am I messing up her name? Uh, Jessica. God dang it! What is my Jessica Alba? Good God, I don't know why I'm just messing up names right now. Seth Green, Eldon Hansen, Vivica Fox. I mean, what a great cast right there. Just those. I think Jack Noseworthy as well. Just people who I've seen in a million other films and are just fantastic. I love this movie. It cracked me up. It's got a lot of, drug stuff and things like that, like, stoner humor. But like the movie is about a dude who loses his hand. Um, and his hand becomes like well, he doesn't lose it at first, but his hand starts to be like possessed by, I guess, a demon or Satan or whatever. And, you know, um, it's all from just somebody came up with it from the idea of idle hands are the devil's playthings. They made a whole movie off of that saying. That's hilarious to me. That's awesome. Oh, another movie that I absolutely adore. I watch this all the time. The lead villain in this is probably one of the creepiest villains of all time, and it is Candyman. Don't say his name three times in front of the mirror. Was it three or five? Maybe five times in front of a mirror. Don't say it. Don't do it. Don't do it. He will come and haunt you. Um, Okay, so I was like, wait, this is not the 4K? No, this is the Blu-ray. Blu-ray actually has the theatrical cut, and this too is the unrated cut, so you can watch the unrated version of this as well. I did not even realize that. Freaking awesome. It's got commentaries by Bernard Rose and actor Tony Todd. I mean, yeah, I can listen to that dude talk. Like, I've met him too, and he is the nicest, most gentle person you'll ever meet. But I was it was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I came down to the convention. And I was trying to party still, but I was tired as hell. And I came up to Tony Todd, and I was just chatting with him. I got picture with him and stuff, and he looked at me and he goes, "I think you should go to bed." Like in the Candyman talk. And I was like thinking, if Candyman tells you you should go to bed, you should probably go to bed. You know, probably bedtime. But man, I remember me and my friend watched this when we were kids, and he lived not across the street, but we'd have to go through like these woods to get to his house and stuff like that. And the whole time after, he was like, "Jonathan." It was really, really funny, and creepy and scary, and I loved it. But this movie is creepy, scary, and I love it. When was it made? Is it 90s or 80s? I wanted to say 80s, but I think it's 90s. 1992. Yeah, there you go. All right. So next up on is probably one of the creepiest movies, also another creepy movie, also from Scream Factory. Go figure. Think this is what is this the last one from Scream? Yeah, this is the last one from Scream Factory. That is The Fog. Um, The Fog, John Carpenter's The Fog is just so creepy. I don't think I've seen the remake, which I've heard mixed things. So I'm definitely gonna have to check it out at some point. But um, this movie is just so creepy. I love it. I love the beginning where they're all talking, around the campfire talking about the stories, and then you see it, kind of come to life or whatever in real life, and it is just so creepy, so scary. The atmosphere, the music. I love stories set on the sea or like pirate kind of things, and this has that. It's just so much fun. I really enjoyed it. The lighthouse stuff, everything, just so great. I'm gonna keep saying this. These are my recommendations. So if you haven't seen The Fog, go watch it. Go, go, go. Like, go on a John Carpenter binge and just watch everything from like Assault at Precinct 13, and his earlier work, like Dark, I think he did Dark Star, stuff like that. All his earlier work, all the way up to what he's done now. And you'll see sort of like, you kind of I think you'll see when he's stopped like really like because he had done so many that were great. There's only so many that are great that you're after a while you're just gonna be like, I'm done. I'm done. I've done enough. And I think that's where he kind of came at one point. Next is Insidious. So I definitely had to put a James Wan ghost one in there. And Insidious, the first Insidious, is so creepy, so scary. Lynn Shay does a phenomenal job in it. Everybody does. Patrick Wilson, Rose Byrne. Rose Byrne in a horror film. I mean, I'm so used to her as like in Neighbors and other films. I'm not used to her in horror, but she does such a great job in the Insidious movies. So, Insidious Chapter 1, the first one is just phenomenal. So good. So, James Wan, I'm just gonna say this. James Wan knows how to freaking direct. Like he knows how to direct. He knows he knows how to make something really pop, and get scary and creepy and he's like honestly, he's the closest thing we have to another Hitchcock. That's him and Mike Flanagan are two of the people who are people that I think really actually are the closest that we have to Hitchcock because they really know the camera and they do a fantastic job with their horror films. And so I absolutely think that imagine if James Wan and all of them like combined forces to make like a series of films or TV shows or something, episodes. I mean, that would just be creepy. That would be the new Masters of Horror. If they ever want to bring back Masters of Horror and they just do the new Masters of Horror, that yeah, HBO or I think HBO is in charge of that. Whoever made them originally, get on that. All right, next is my favorite zombie film of all time, and we're doing this for and so it's should already be out by the time this comes out, or around the time that this comes out. It actually should already be out. But for horror film lovers, we're reviewing this movie, which is Shaun of the Dead. I'm not really into zombies unless it's more comedic or silly or goofy or fun kind of thing, because I'm not really into like because I don't like movies where they go grr 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 the whole time. That's just not fun for me. I understand people who love Night of the Living Dead, and believe me, I love Night of the Living Dead, but it is not one of my favorite horror films. It to me, it's a slow burn, and it's a very politically driven movie, and that is fantastic for people who like that stuff. Mm, I'm not one of those people. I want my movies to sort of just be there for entertainment. That's me. And look, that's how I make my movies. I don't go, well, I'm gonna make this, thing because everybody else is making it. I do things because I'm, the way that I'm interested in them and everything. So yeah. Shaun of the Dead, number two. All right. So you're like thinking, what is number one? What's your number one horror film in your Blu Ray collection that you don't have for 4K? What could that be? And that's the movie, yes. That's the movie that sort of started me on this path of falling in love back again with horror films, and that is Scream. The first Scream by Wes Craven and Kevin Williamson. Just amazing movie. I was always a slasher fan. I don't know why. It's just they've always appealed to me. I think I like the idea of it being even if it's supernatural slasher, it's more real to real life. And I kind of get scared about that. Like there could be a dude who dresses up in Ghostface, calls people up and bothers them, and tells them that they're going to kill them and stuff. Like that that could actually happen. I'm surprised it hasn't happened since the movies came out. Like nobody is really, as far as I know. Now, this could have happened, and maybe it was part of news. I'm not sure, but as far as I know, nobody's ever done that. So I love it. Like I was happy with Scream being my last one, and if you notice, Scream's up there on my wall because those are my walls of my favorite movies, and Scream is up there as one of my favorite movies, right next to Jaws and whatnot. So I absolutely love it. It is by far one of my favorite films of all time. I can't say anything bad about Scream. I almost said Jaws because it's thinking Jaws. Scream. I can't say anything bad about Scream. Now the new movies, my thoughts on them are they're new. They're not done by Wes Craven. Kevin Williamson has no involvement. In my opinion, other than the fact that the original cast members are in them, I don't almost don't even feel like I feel like so you're not even really set in Woodsboro. It doesn't feel like a Scream series. It feels like Scream adjacent. So I kind of view it as that. I view the first four as that's it. That's like the original Scream stuff. The rest are just sort of Scream adjacent. I did not like the MTV show. I tried. People said that the or third season or whatever it was, it got a little better, but the first season just really, it just irked me a little bit too much. It just did not feel like Scream at all. Like at least the new Screams feel like Scream enough where I get it, but it is just not Scream. Um, yeah, so there you go. I absolutely love the first Scream. And it'll always be my favorite of the Scream movies. I like Scream 2, but like it goes like Scream 1, Scream 2, Scream 4, Scream 3, then probably Scream 6 and Scream 5. No, 5 and 6. I don't know, something like that. I haven't fully decided yet on those two because those two sort of almost interchangeable in my opinion. They're almost like the same movie. And that's another thing I don't like because when you watch Scream 1 and Scream 2, you can definitely tell which one you like more and everything like that, and it has a different feel to it. So anyway, that's it. That's my top 10 Blu-rays of my horror. So those are my recommendations. If you haven't seen any of those, go watch them. A lot of them are light, like Scream and Shaun of the Dead are very light. Sidious is a little darker, and The Fog is definitely darker, and Candyman's scarier and stuff like that. But Prince of Dark was the Prince of Darkness was on the other one. Some of these like Misery and whatnot, they're just really good movies, and they're terrifying for what they are. And I love that. So if you're in the mood for spooky stuff during the season, those are my top 10 for Blu-ray and for 4K. But until next time, I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope this Halloween you guys are able to go out and have a lot of fun and enjoy yourself and hopefully get scared. That's the big thing. Like go out and get scared. I might do a top 10 like of my scariest films I own, which would probably be in these collections, or whatever. But yeah, or something. We'll see. We'll see what else happens. But right now, these are just my two top 4K and then top Blu. Now this is my top Blu-ray. So thank you guys for joining me on this and join me next Saturday where we'll see what happens next. Okay. Bye.